This is the second podcast of the Three Idiots. I'm Chris.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Josh.
And we weren't really sure what we were going to talk about today until Bobby came over a little bit ago and started talking about the Trayvon Martin case. And I didn't hear him all the way out because I figured it would make a good topic. So, Josh, why don't you explain a little bit about the what's going on with that case?
Alright, try not being opinionated. Just get simple. February 26, 2012, in Sanford County, Florida, a young African-American male at the age of, 16, 17, named Trayvon Martin, left his dad's house with his stepmom there. It was a well-to-do community. It was gated.
Wait a second. You just started reading about this today, and you got the whole fucking thing memorized?
Okay, after that shit, Trayvon Martin went to a convenience store, bought some Skittles, a drink, like a Snickers or whatever. Went back home. It was cold, unusual cold, rainy Florida night. And of course he lives in a gated community, so there's going to be security guards. It's not like your ordinary neighborhood you live in, especially if you're all rocking out in P-Town. A security guard named George Zimmerman just thought
He wasn't a security guard.
Trayvon Martin was suspicious. I'm putting quote fingers up. Then it became an altercation. Then it became gunshots. Then it became protests and a murder trial. And that is where we are tonight. And of course, right now, on July 13, 2013, at 8:53 p.m., and there is no verdict, so we're open to discussion.
I'm gonna give a little brief background of George Michael Zimmerman.
Go ahead.
He was born October 5th, 1983,
4 days before my birthday.
Holy shit.
in Manassas, Virginia.
Damn.
Manassas!
So
Bull run.
I'm standing behind him because he's a Virginian.
Yep.
Zimmerman's height is reportedly 5'7".
Wait, do we really need to know all this?
God damn.
His weight was recorded at being 185 pounds.
I'm cutting this shit out.
No, you gotta get laughing.
In 2009, Zimmerman had moved his wife to the retreat of Twin Lakes in Sanford, Florida, a multi-ethnic gated community. In 2005, Zimmerman was charged with assaulting a police officer and resisting arrest after shoving an officer while a friend of Zimmerman's was being questioned about underage drinking.
Imagine that.
The charges were reduced, then dropped. Also in 2005, Zimmerman's ex-fiancée filed a restraining order against him, alleging domestic violence.
So he has a history of
Has a criminal history, yes.
of doing stuff like this.
Yes, but
of antagonizing situations.
I'm going to stand behind George Zimmerman and say that.
Why?
Because, if the kid, from what the reports have been, is that the kid was standing over beating him.
Yeah.
And I don't care how old you are, and how young the person is. If somebody's standing over beating you, and they don't have any intention to stop, they will kill you.
The fact shit isn't recorded.
And the fact that even in a regular street fight, one good hit to the head could kill you.
There's no video of the shit happening.
Now, do I believe that he should have shot him? No.
What do you think, Josh? You think he should go to jail?
For protecting himself? They have to prove that he had a very malicious intent in killing this person. And there's no recorded anything, no video, barely any sound. A telephone from a neighbor's house? Fucking please.
What do you think?
You guys need to back up. You're starting from the altercation between the two.
Backing up. Backing up.
He is literally backing up.
I'm backing up. For the record.
I mean, not actually, not physically back up.
Mentally back up.
All right, so you guys are taking this from the start of the altercation onwards, and if that's all we had to go with, I'd be on your side. Sure, self-defense, but no. You have to move the timeline back. You guys are looking at just the altercation and what happened with that. And if, like I said, if that's all we had to go on, I'd be in agreement with you all day. But that's not all we had to go on. We know that Trayvon Martin was walking around this neighborhood with a dark hoodie on, presumably, in Zimmerman's words, looking at people's houses and stuff.
What does a burglar do before he burglarizes a house?
What evidence do you have that
he capes a house? He looks at the house. He studies the house.
What evidence do you have that that's...
Oh, there's none. I'm giving a reference point. This is what somebody does.
Well, sure. I don't disagree with that. He may very well have been doing that. And you have Zimmerman, who was out doing errands about that time, just coming home, pulling into his neighborhood. And he witnesses this guy walking around acting suspicious. So he does what any citizen would do. He notices suspicious activity and he calls it in. I mean, he is the neighborhood crime watch, the lead guy for that. So he calls it into police. Fine. And then Trayvon Martin notices that Zimmerman's watching him. So for whatever reason, he starts to run. Now, again, he may well have been casing homes to think about breaking in, because there had been a rash of robberies in the neighborhood lately. And so again, I'm in complete...
I just want it to be known that I'm not saying that those string of whatever burglaries were not Trayvon's fault.
They may or may not have been. We don't know.
Yeah, so...
But the fact is that there's no evidence that he was there to commit a crime, or that he had committed a crime at that time. So anyway, Zimmerman's still on the phone with the police while this kid takes off down the road. And the phone conversation with dispatch, he's like, shit, he's starting to run. And then he asks dispatch, do you guys want me to pursue? And dispatch says no.
Yeah,
we don't need you to do. We don't need you to do that.
Yeah, you should never pursue.
And he tells them, okay, and then he proceeds to tell dispatch, to have the cop. He's going to wait for the cop to get there, and to call him, when he gets in the neighborhood, and Zimmerman will tell him where he's at. I got no problems with that. He hangs up the phone. Then what does he do? He proceeds to go after Trayvon. Even after dispatch told him, no, don't do it. We don't need you to do that. He decides on his own volition that he's going to go take this dude down.
Maybe he was being a good Samaritan.
The boy hadn't committed a crime, so how was he being a good Samaritan? And it doesn't matter, because the dispatch already told him to keep your ass right where you're at and wait for the cop. And he decided not to do that.
All I'm saying
so instead, he fucking goes after Trayvon. And of course, if somebody's following you around a neighborhood in the middle of the night, I mean, you may not turn around and swing on him, but you're going to confront him and be like, what are you doing? Why are you following me? I
can honestly say that I've never been curious. I mean, I've been curious about somebody who's watched me walking, but I've never decided to run.
Well, we don't know. Well,
that's what why did he run?
Well, we don't know why he ran. But Zimmerman's not a cop. He's not a security guard.
He's a good Samaritan. He was in his mind, he was being a good Samaritan.
Oh, yeah, sure, in his mind.
He was giving he was giving updated intelligence to the police officers. That's what he was doing. He was acquiring that intelligence. And the only way, because he probably ran around a corner.
No,
he was like, oh shit.
When he was on the phone with the police, he told them which direction he was running. He was running towards the back entrance of the neighborhood, and he told the cops that. But I mean, again, there's no evidence that he committed a crime nor came there to commit a crime. All that was found in his pocket was a bag of Skittles. That's it. That's all they found on him. So because this dude did not adhere to what dispatch told him to do, which was, we don't need you to follow him. So pretty much they're saying, don't follow him.
But there's nothing against anybody following anybody. So basically he should be found guilty because he ran after the kid. After dispatch told him not to. So that makes him guilty.
He's the one that started the whole thing.
But then the kid shouldn't have been standing over beating him. He should have. Now, if there was a fight, again, Trayvon, if he was defending himself, he defended himself. But when he started getting over the guy,
dude, come on. All the dude had was a bloody nose and a couple bumps on his head. It's not like not like he was beat to the inch of his life or anything.
Because Zimmerman shot him because he was beating him.
He had a bloody nose. That's it. It's not like he had life-threatening injuries. It's not like he was even disfigured. He had a bloody fucking nose.
But the guy was standing over him.
Who cares?
In an aggressive manner to keep.
But you know what?
I care.
If you don't want to get your fucking ass beat, don't chase after somebody that you don't know.
We're getting too emotional about this.
No, we're not. It's fine. Okay. I served on a jury in a civil case, mind you. So this is not criminal. I don't know I don't know how the criminal side works. And this guy was trying to sue Portsmouth Police Department because they shot him. And what happened was he was a known felon. And they had been watching him for a couple weeks now, gathering evidence. So one day they caught him doing something. I think they thought he might have been doing something, so they started trying to pull him over. But instead of him pulling over, he started to haul ass from him. He started to run from him. Now, in a civil case, in that situation, you cannot receive any compensation if you were at fault even 1%. And as soon as he ran from the cops, it didn't matter what happened after that. He couldn't get anything for it. And that, again, I don't know if it works that way in a criminal court, but it's the same thing. The fucking dispatch told him to stay there, and since he did not, it's his fault that the rest of that shit happened. If he wouldn't have went after that guy after being told not to do it, Trayvon wouldn't have turned around and whipped his fucking ass, and he wouldn't have fucking shot Trayvon.
Yeah.
So it's his fault. It is his fault.
So then Zimmerman should have just laid there and accepted his beating.
Zimmerman should have stayed at the fucking car.
Yes, he should have, but he didn't.
So whose fault is that?
It's Zimmerman's fault that he ran, but for the fact of the guy to keep beating him, no.
You say that, but all he had was a fucking bloody nose. That's it.
The guy was beating him.
It's not like he got beat half to death.
Yeah, because he got shot in the middle of the beating.
Right, but
that's why he didn't get beat with an inch of his life.
If you don't want to get your ass beat, don't chase somebody through a neighborhood that you don't know.
Yes, that is very true. But he didn't. For all we know, Zimmerman didn't even know he was going to turn around and fight him. What if he would have just kept running? Then he just lost him. Zimmerman and Trayvon should have kept running. Should have just left.
No,
left the area.
I disagree. This motherfucker is running after me. I don't know who he is. He's obviously not a cop.
Trayvon started running first.
No shit.
All because somebody was watching him. Just watching him, just like...
Watching him and is on the phone with somebody.
Okay, I've walked by plenty of people looking at me on the phone with people.
Again, he could have been there to commit some crime, or he could have committed a crime. We don't know that. But there's no law. There's no law that says you can't run down the street.
There's no law stating that somebody can't chase after somebody because they think they did a crime.
You're right.
So there's nothing to even connect him to any type of crime. Even chasing after him, there's nothing to connect him to any crime to commit.
All I'm saying is,
chasing after
if Zimmerman would have did what he was told,
so basically Zimmerman was in his legal right to chase after him. He was on the phone. Yes, he should.
For what? Zimmerman hadn't seen him committing any crime.
Okay, but it was a suspicious person. If somebody's in your neighborhood, you gonna
follow him around? I'm not.
I'm not either, but apparently he did.
That's because
he's a different person.
He's got a fucking history of violence. Dude shouldn't even have a gun in the first place.
That is true, but he wasn't charged with any
the head of the neighborhood crime watch. In my mind, it's his fault because he should have stayed where the cops told him to.
But now,
he should go to jail.
Now we're gonna get into.
All right, so
let's wrap this up.
So like the jury probably will be, we're gonna have to declare this a mistrial for the three idiots.
Because there's
no consensus.
Yeah. There's only 3 people in this world that know exactly what happened that night.
Yeah.
2.
3.
He's like God.
Jesus. Jesus knows.
No, not Jesus. He doesn't know. God knows.
No.
No.
But only those 3 people know. Trayvon, Zimmerman, and God.
No.
It's a fucking metaphor. All
right? A metaphor for what?
That there's not enough information to state exactly what happened that night. Only 3 people know.
God's not a person.
Fuck you. How's that sound? Does that sound good enough? Fuck you.
He's a guest.
Hey, look, there's about to be an altercation in here right now.
There's only 3 people.
Let's see who's going to go to jail.
Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman.
And that's it.
All right.
Cut.
So.
The jury's deadlocked. Mistrial.
Mistrial. Later.